Hello, Nick. So let's go figure out the victory points and who won. So in Bonaparte Overruns Piedmont, we've got the victory conditions section. I have copied the victory worksheet. So over here's the Montenotte side. It's pretty much all the same information. I think you can use this if you do the campaign, but we're just going to use this part over here. All right, so first we look at the SPs eliminated, and if we go up here, we can ignore these. These are just vedettes that weren't used, and they're full strength anyways. Those weren't eliminated. So it looks like we've got 10 on the coalition and 10 for the French. So 10, 10. So that's going to be no points. What you do is you get the difference, and then whoever has the most gets that many points difference. So it's going to be, that'll be, I guess, zero points for that, which would have been interesting. So if you remember Cossé there that I pushed forward, if he would have had to retreat, that would have been 6 points, then difference in favor of the coalition. That would have been an extra victory point. I mean, plus you think back to all those flanking movements where there was an attack that either just failed outright when the odds were great, or the retreat was forced, but a card was able to overcome it and save the units. Plus, not to mention, the units that were eliminated and then were able to be brought back via reorganization. So, yeah, so no points for that after 3 full days of fighting. So SP's eliminated, and then I should have put that down more. So get rid of that. So VPs for losses are 0. All right. So then let's see. The worksheet is a different order, so I guess we'll go by the worksheet. So VPs for control. Boy, I'm doing horrible camera work here. All right, so the French are going to have, they have the Montenegino for 2, and then they got Montenotte for 3, I believe. Yep. So five victory points for them, and then the coalition still holds Dago, which is worth 4. So, interesting turn of events there. If you remember, I, at one point, was going to try to sneak a coalition unit down here to take that, and wasn't able to. Mostly thanks to Argento, just failing constantly. Okay, so now VP for the cards. So if I look back, the previous day, the previous day, did I do that right? So the French previous day were -9, and then they used 3 more on the final day, so that puts them to -12. The coalition, which I had, yeah, I figured that wrong. So this is in a different column. The leaders staying overnight. So the card play wise, they were -14, and then they used that general retreat card, which I still don't know if I feel good about the way I did that, but anyway, so +1, so that they're at -12. Wait a minute, I feel like there, oh, wait, I feel like there was something I did wrong here. Oh, yeah, duh. So they were at -14, +1, that should be 13. What am I doing? Boy, this tripod, I really need to get a better one. I do not like this one. All right, let's Erase that. All right, so they were at 14. They had the +1, so they're at -13. All right. Nobody captured any baggage trains. There were no exited units. Here's a big one. Corps demoralized. Boy, if you can demoralize one of the corps, you get 4 VPs. That's huge. So, yeah, so none for that. Leaders. So here's where it comes in. Argento, stayed both nights in Cadel de Sola, so that was +1. And then they also captured Messina, and his command rating was a 1, so that's a +1. So they're at +2 for that, and the French got nothing for that. All right, so we add this up. So -7, it looks like. And then, let's see, 4 to 9 plus 2. So they're at -7. Interesting. So, the way I would handle this, and it doesn't say anything here about if you get, if you're less than 0, what you do. But what I'm going to do in my games, until I hear different or find it different, is whichever is the lower total, I'll add that many to it to get the low total back to 0. So like in this case, we're gonna add 7, which takes it to 0, and it just so happens, since the coalition is also there, that's going to take them to 0. And then 26, 22 comes into play here. When the total of VPs is 0, convert the scores of 0 to 1. So that'll make it, that'll change the 0 to a 1 on each side. So it's basically the final ratio is a 1 to 1. And then if we look at the level of victory, 1 to 1 to 1 to 0.49 is a coalition marginal victory. So marginal victory there for the coalition. So it very close. Just like what I talked about, like, coalition would have caused that loss. That would have been an extra victory point for them. They would have had like a 2 to 1. Or no, that still would have been, in my method of doing that, that still would have been a 1 to 1. But anyways, but a lot of little things that could have been different. The French used 3 cards on the final day there. If they wouldn't have used any of those, the VP's swing would have went the other way, and they would have won. So I think it's pretty close. And I think I guess what I would say is, if you, and this played out very different than what the historical Montenotte did. The French took the spots and were considered the winning of that. But this even says, where is it? I can't find the somewhere. I know it says that, like, if you want, like this campaign especially, if you don't want things to deviate hugely from the historical, then you probably shouldn't use the the alternate forces. And in our play, we got them all. So it made it very tough. I think the approach to battle, I think it's tough for the French too. The extra day and the extra Piedmontese that are on the map that can challenge the supply line here. If I wouldn't have got Napoleon reinforcement, like 8 hours, 7 hours ahead of time, they would have had all the French force over here out of supply for quite a while, and that would have been tough for them to push at all. And then just with Argento, they had a lot of alternate forces that they could get. So I mean, we didn't have coli allowed at all, but they had a lot of these forces that could come on, and then we didn't even, so Bettendorf up there in Dago. I mean, maybe Argento should have employed him better. He would have been out of supply, though. If he would have stacked together, I think that stack could have drawn from Argento's supply. So that could have been interesting. Another interesting is if the French would have tried to strike soon, like as soon as Napoleon got on board, to head up, try to take Dago. I mean, that would have been interesting. I think the cards. There's some vagaries in the cards that I think you just got to be open to. Just deciding. Like I'm pretty sure this. Like this infiltration card. Oops. This is so cavalry and vedettes, go through zone of controls or whatever. I mean, the French didn't actually do that, but they could have. So I took the VP hit. You might decide to play it in a way where, well, if I don't use, the ability, then I don't get the negative. I mean, you can do it that way too. Of course, then you'd have to decide with the the alternate reinforcements. Do you want to take them? Whereas with the way that I was playing, like if I play that card, I have to accept that alternate reinforcements, and those come as a big hit. I think -3. I mean, one way the French could have, because I think early on the coalition was the one getting all the alternate reinforcements. I mean, they could have just foregone, getting theirs early, because they got Augereau and Bonaparte early, a sped up reinforcement, I believe. They got they were able to get these two units that were over here. They got them early. I think those were the only two they have. Yeah. So they got this alternate reinforcement. This they didn't get, but they got this, which is basically that without Napoleon, as a sped up reinforcement. And then the coalition, I think they got. I don't think they got this one. Oh no, maybe they did. Man, I don't know. I can't remember. But that's a lot. So I mean, one strategy the French could have tried to just forgo those big hitters and just tried to survive. I mean, with the negatives, I mean, maybe they could have just backed off and tried to, keep from getting destroyed, and the negative card play would have ended up costing the coalition. But I don't know. I think I'd love to set this up and play just the approach, or not the approach, the day of battle. But that's like that'd be 2 days. I don't really, I've had Library of the Napoleonics on my table for quite a while, and as much as I'd love to do that just to see how different it plays out, I think I'm going to move on. I mean, I will eventually get back and play the next scenario, which is Dago. That's a shorter one, 13 turns. So I think, I don't know if I'll play that as much on camera, but I will definitely check in. After all, this is part of my, I think I'm going to try to play this all the way through, at least the battles I have in the order that they take, and most likely by the time I get to the volumes that aren't out yet, I'll have not been there yet. So I might be able to play all the battles in the order of historicity. So again, like, if you're very much, you want to see the history, then I think, at least for this scenario, I think you'd want to play the day of battle. Don't use the cards. And even, if you don't play with the cards, they even have it where I think the alternate reinforcements you still roll for. And if you roll it 2 or a 3, then that means the next ones come in. I don't know where that is in the rules, but I know that that's there. So I mean, you could always do that. That would seem to make it a little rarer. Man, it seemed like, I mean, even though these are decent sized cards, we sure were able to get those alternate reinforcement cards quite a bit. So I don't think. I guess one thing I definitely don't want you to take from this is that, man, this system isn't historical at all. But because you take that into account when you add the cards in, because things are going to be different. The cards make it interesting and add a whole nother level to the fog of war, because you don't know what your opponent has, what he's going to do. Um, you maybe you think like your flank's all secure, and then all of a sudden, hey, alternate reinforcements, and bang, he's going to have somebody come in, from that side that you didn't expect. I think it's pretty interesting. So with Dago, I don't know if I'll use the cards. I almost think I'll just when I play Dago, I'll play. Well, there is only Day of Battle for Dago, and I don't. I think maybe I won't use the cards, though there are some cards in effect, certain things from the start, which I would guess would still be in effect even if you don't use the cards. So mode cards at start, 3 for the French, 1 for the coalition, and then bonus cards on turn 2. Wow, so it looks like the French are only going to have 2 cards for the whole game, and the coalition will have 3. I mean, every turn. I mean, so that's interesting. So man, that tempts me to wanna use the cards again. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think I want to move on, play something else. I've had what do you call it? Old Glory and Empire. I was waiting so expectantly to get that. Was reading my book on Relisa and Vimiro, and once this arrived, I kind of stopped reading. I was up to where the actual battle was going to be talked about, and I haven't really read since then. I think I've read the soldiers' rules a couple times, and then I don't know. I don't know if I started reading the battalion rules. It's basically like this supplants the soldier rules, and this is more involved, which I think was what I would want. So I think I'll probably read the battalion rules and use that. And then I'll hold off on looking at any of the brigade stuff, though I've heard there's some interesting things in there that you can add. These kind of they build upon the previous rules. So yeah, I think I might get into this because I'm interested at this level of Napoleonics, and excuse me. And anyways, I wanna see how that is. I don't know how much I'll film of this. Maybe I'll film little things that I find interesting in the system, but we'll see. So I mean, there could be a little drought from me for a while, but I don't know. Maybe I'll check in with little bits and pieces here and there. Oh, I also have. I don't think I showed this. I received this. I won this Meandering Mike's. I think his 1,000 subscriber celebration. I ended up winning this. It's a solitaire game on Waterloo. So I want to play that sometime. Big thanks to Meandering Mike there also for my shirt. And there you have it. I think that's a wrap on Montenotte, and we will talk to you in the future. So just for giggles, I thought I would set up the day of battle scenario, just so you could kind of see the difference. So this is, when the approach to battle that I played, there was already a whole nother day that we went through. So at the beginning of April 12th, this is the layout. So Argento, you see, made a lot better time than he did in our game. But he's kind of strung out still. It's going to take a while to get down here. These guys are going to be, they're going to have to be getting initiative to get down here. So, starting out, Massena gets over here. He can either always put Harp in command. He's got the first division. I guess there's only. Oh, are they here? Yeah. So there's a couple first division guys holding Montenegino, and the Harp is here. These guys will have to do initiative on their own. But if the advanced guard forces can link up, Argento's kind of strung out. So I mean, they can kind of put a hurt on him big time to begin with, before the rest of his people can get in a position to help. The Piedmontese, there's a lot less of them on the board at start than in the scenario we played. There's a couple up here around Dago, and then there's this one guy down here. Initiative rating 2, so it's going to be tough for him to get over here to cut the supply line. But who knows? Maybe Massena wants to go take care of him. There will be, if we look at the reinforcements, let's see. Yeah, so not till the 9 p.m. turn, so much later. End of this first day will be when Bonaparte and Overruns shows up, and then that'll be on the final day that those two units will show up. For the coalition, they'll get some on the first day. They'll get these units. However, they're going to start way up over there, so they'll have to come down. But they'll be able to use march orders. And then on the final day, there's that one. So I think the approach to battle scenario, I think you can definitely see where I think it favors the French. If you use the cards, they could still get, the coalition could get lucky and, pull those, pull some of those forward. But I don't know if you really want to waste them, until you get, the alternate. Yeah, these are good. I mean, especially that first alternate reinforcements for the coalition are pretty good. So Bettendorf, maybe you want to. He'd be good if you were able to get him, because when Napoleon comes on, I think it's a lot more likely that the French have a firmer grasp over here. So when he comes on, he may want to jet up to Dago and take that. So I think the approach to battle would definitely, or not the approach, the day of battle scenario. I think it definitely leans more historically, just looking at the beginning of it. And again, I'm tempted to just go at it off camera, but I just don't. I think I could whip through it, but I think it would still take me a few sessions to get it all done. So, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll pop back in and you'll see me that I was still I couldn't resist, but I think I'm probably going to move on. So laters.